Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP Beastmaster Ranger build in Baldur's Gate 3. This is one of the best early game classes because when you have your spider or any other summon active, you're going to be dealing a ton more damage than other classes. But this is also pretty stellar all the way through the game, so we'll be going over a very powerful build here. So we're going to start with the Ranger here, and as for our favorite enemy, you can go with the Ranger Knight to get heavy armor, but it's honestly probably best to go with medium armor, so you can go with one of the other options. However, if you really just want to get the skill proficiency in history and get that heavy armor, you can go the Ranger Knight. But also another good option is the Bounty Hunters. This is going to give you, or give enemies disadvantage on their saving throw against Ensnaring Strike, which is a really good crowd control option early on. Now for our Natural Explorer, I usually like to go with the damage resistance, so cold, fire, or poison. However, Beast Tamer just makes sense here because we can get like a Raven or another summon with our Find Familiar, upcast aid on it to give it an extra 25 health, and then it's actually pretty tanky itself, so we're going to go with that there, and it also doesn't expend a spell slot. Now for our ability scores, we do have a few attributes that we do need to have a decent bit of, so dexterity being one of the main stats here is going to give us armor class as well as initiative, which is two big things for us, as well as attack rolls with certain weapons. Now we want to have a decent bit of constitution and a good amount of wisdom as well. So 16 wisdom, 16 dexterity, and 14 constitution works pretty good. 10 charisma, 10 strength, and 8 intelligence. You can shuffle the stats around if you want something a little different, but this works pretty good overall. I'll be going over all the gear options at the end of this video, and there's some really good options that we can go with, and there's actually a wide variety of different ones I'll be covering. So at level 2, we get to choose our spells, and we took the proficiency, or we took the disadvantage on the enemy's saving throw on Ensnaring Strikes. We'll take that. Be mindful to use your action and your bonus action, so that can be a little bit tough. We also want Hunter's Mark. This is really good because this is just a bonus action, but it gives extra damage to our beast summons, so we want that. Now for our fighting style, we can take archery for +2 to attack rolls, meaning we're going to land our shots more frequently. We can also go with the sharpshooter alongside this, but I think that defense for a +1 armor class worked really well. If we're going with a weapon with a shield in the offhand, we can go with the dueling to get an extra 2 damage on it, or 2-weapon fighting if you really want to use 2 weapons. But I think defense for the +1 armor class just works best here, and I'll show you why once we get to the end of this video. Now for our subclass, we're obviously going Beastmaster here. So this gives us the Ranger's Companion, getting a Beast Companion that accompanies you on your adventures and fights alongside you. And then we can also pick another level 1 spell. I think Fog Cloud works really well, so it can blind and obscure creatures within it. Requires concentration, but this can be nice to go stealth in if you want as well, so you got options there. Some people really like Hail of Thorns, so you can take that if you want, but it's also another bonus action burner. And Long Strider, it's pretty nice too, but you can cast that from someone at your camp. And for, yeah, I guess we'll just take the Beastmaster there. So we got a few options. We'll be going over the different beasts that you want to take. As well, I posted a video earlier today talking about the best Beastmaster pets. So I'll briefly touch on that near the end of the video. For our level 4 feat, I mentioned Sharpshooter can be good, +10 to attack, or +10 to damage, -5 to attack rolls, so less likely to hit, but higher damage. I, however, think that going with a higher dexterity works well. +1 armor class, +1 to initiative, and then +1 to attack and damage rolls. That is really nice. At level 5, we get an extra attack, so that's great. And then we also get the subclass feature, Companion's Bond. So your proficiency bonus is added to armor class and damage rolls. So that can be up to a +4 armor class and damage, which is kind of nice. As for our level 2 spell slot that we'll choose, I think Spike Growth works nice for crowd control purposes, and it's also piercing damage, which we have the Ballast Armor on there, which will double the damage that enemies take from piercing damage. So level 5 is quite a nice spike with the extra attack. Now level 6, we get to choose another favorite enemy, and as I mentioned, the heavy armor can be a good choice there. You can get Sacred Flame if you really want to for some reason. Magebreaker. Don't take True Strike. And Keeper of the Veil. Just depends on what skill proficiencies you want. We'll go with this to get heavy armor and history. And as for the Natural Explorer, I think it's actually good to go with either cold or fire resistance. Poison's okay too. Poison's quite common of a damage type, but fire's probably the most common one. If you're playing as a tiefling, go with the cold or the poison because you're already going to have fire resistance, but we'll take that there because it's so common. Now, level 7, we get our exceptional training. Your animal companion can dash, disengage, and help as a bonus action. And it'll get a health boost at next level. So it doesn't get it at this level, but it will at next. Pass Without Trace can be a pretty decent spell to go with because it's going to give a plus 10 to stealth checks if you want to focus more on the stealth aspects of these builds. Silence can be good too. Silence and immune to thunder damage. So the only unfortunate thing is most targets will step out of this if they need to cast a spell. So womp womp. Dark Vision's good too, but we're going to get our own way of doing that. Bark Skin can be okay too. Give it our armor class of 16. Some people really like armor that Bark Skin, so you can go with that. I want to take Hail of Thorns because we didn't take it earlier. Just gives us that damage option that we'd like to have. At level 8, we get difficult stride or land stride, so we don't get slowed down by difficult terrain. Woohoo! And then for our next feat, alert for plus 5 to initiative is really nice, but I think increasing dexterity just works best here. Now, if you had your dexterity of 17 and use the hags here, you can go with the sharpshooter or the ability improvement in a different stat, like your constitution or wisdom. You can also get alerts, a really great perk always to take for really any class. You can even go with the medium armor master to doesn't impose disadvantage on stealth checks. Bonus armor class is plus 3. I guess that doesn't really matter much depending on the armor that we pick. So we'll go with that there, and you can go with alert if you want to pick a different one because alert's really good. Now we get some level 3 spells. Plant Growth, Lightning Arrow, and Conjure Barrage are kind of the best, I would say, of these spells. I love create water builds, as you guys know, so I'm picking Lightning Arrow. But Plant Growth, the quarter movement speed is nice, and a cool interaction. So if you knock someone prone and Plant Growth is there, they can't get back up because it quarters their movement speed, and they need at least 5 meters of movement speed to stand up. So this can prolong any type of prone that you have. And another cool point is the Bear Companion can do the Honeyed Paws and knock the enemy prone in your Plant Growth. So this also doesn't require concentration, but it does burn with fire. I'm going to take Lightning Arrow just because I like the damage that it can do, and it's double create water. At level 10, we get Hide in Plain Sight. You can become invisible and gain plus 10 to stealth checks as long as you stand still. Woohoo! And then for our next favorite enemy, really pick what you want. Religion checks for Sanctified Stalker, sure. And cold or poison damage. Just depends what you think you're going to encounter the most. I think cold is more common near the end of the game. Poison's okay, but it's not very hard hitting. And yeah, we'll go with that there. And then here at level 11, finally, when we get our buff to our animals. This is the only downside of the Beastmaster. It takes 11 levels to get the full benefit. So, Bestial Fury. This gives the enemy, or it gives your summons an extra attack. They also get a pretty big buff here, which we'll talk about. Like the bear can summon in another ally. I'm going to take Plant Growth. However, some people really like Conjure Barrage. This is slashing damage, though, which kind of stinks when we're using the Ballast Armor. So, Plant Growth to stick people in our area. Finally, at level 12, we can take another feat. However, it's probably best to go with a different type of multi-class here because the only downside to the level 12 there is you don't really get anything extra other than the feat, but we can go with the Cleric. We can also add in the Wizard. The Wizard's going to give us something like Magic Missile and Shield, and then we can also use the Intelligence Circlet if we want to add to that. But I think going into Cleric, because they both use Wisdom, is kind of nice. And then we can also take our Produce Flame there for a fire spell. I think the War Domain works best here, but Tempest also is nice because of the reaction and Thunder Wave that we would get here. So this will deal a 2d8 of lightning or thunder damage as a reaction. I like the War Priest, though, for the bonus action attacks. That just gives us a plain damage spike. And then we can also pick 4 spells. Healing Word's great on enemies or allies that are downed. You can pick them back up with a bonus action. Command is nice, too. With the 16 Wisdom, we're not going to land it all the time, but we can land it. And you know me, I love Create Water. This sets up our Lightning Arrow. And Sanctuary is a pretty good one. Or Guiding Bolt to give advantage on attack rolls. I'm going to go Sanctuary because there's some fun shenanigans you can do with that. But the big bonus to the War Priest is getting those extra attacks. We get the War Priest extra attack charges times 3. Now, this is where the build gets pretty fun because we got some cool options to play around with. So, Hunter's Companion. We got our Find Familiar here. So, I personally really like the Raven, but the Spider's also pretty good too. So, the Raven can blind people. So, we're going to bring the Raven in. Now, our Hunter's Companion. This is cool because we can use the Bear Companion. I'll show you guys something fun. So, bring in our bear. Call him in. Ursa engines. And then the bear can also Ursine reinforcements. The bear gets a bear. So boom, double a bear, double a bear. And then since we can't actually use this per short rest, what we can just do is go short rest, and we can summon in Dire Raven Companion. And with this, we keep our extra bear. So that's pretty cool. It's only a level 7 bear, but hey, it's better than nothing. Cool thing with the birds is, this looks like Loki, but the birds also get to call in 2 more birds. So yeah, it's pretty sweet how many allies you can get here. So we got multiple birds, and we can't actually control the Corvuses there, but one nice thing about all these extra summons is if you got someone on your team that can upcast aid to everyone, they can apply, I don't know if I have aid on her, I don't think so. But what you can do with aid is you can upcast it to add 25 health to everyone. So that's really, really nice just for survivability's sake. I guess I'll see if Jahara has it there. Join me. And I have a mod that lets me add as many people as I want to the party. And I don't have aid on this either. But we got Hero's Feast, so that kind of shows off what this is capable of doing. So we can add the Hero's Feast, and they get all that extra health. Even our level 1 single health bird there gets it. And we also get pizza. Big bonus. But you can also upcast aid to give aid to the entire party. So that's another amazing option that you got here. But the big benefit of having all these birds around is being able to blind people. Because as you got the Corvus there, it can attack. It can also curse enemies, giving them disadvantage on their attack. Or I'll show you, I guess. 0% chance. Saved by the Bad Omen. I guess it's per turn, so we'll get it again in a second here. But they can also blind people, which is really nice. The hit chance is not super high. I guess 30% there. Bad Omen, save failed. Alright, so he's got the Bad Omen. Attack rolls against it will have advantage. So that's the nice thing about this. You can curse enemies, give yourself advantage on attack rolls. You can also blind them, which will also do the same. Whenever they're blinded, they got disadvantage on it. Attacks on them have advantage and disadvantage to their attack rolls. But the cool thing is the Bad Omen's a ranged attack, so you can attack with that. Also, with the bird, whenever you fly and land, it creates darkness. So the cool thing is fly just uses movement speed, so you can literally just like create a little area of darkness everywhere. So the birds are super underrated, and they'll also benefit from pizza, but they also benefit from our ballast armor, giving the vulnerability to piercing damage. So this is our setup here. I went with the Shar Spear of the Evening because this will allow us to see in the darkness, so we can set up darkness and just play around in it. However, that's only for evil playthroughs. So if you're playing on a good playthrough, I would recommend going with Flame Blades are really nice if you want to make a permanent one. I got a video of it on my channel. Nyrolna for the piercing damage is fantastic, although people prefer to throw that. Valar Aluve, really easy to get. Act 1 weapon, that's huge. You got a lot of options. Like I would recommend going with something that you feel works best for your unique play style, because everyone's different. But Valar Aluve, I'm a big fan of Shar's Spear of the Night, because then we can spam darkness with the Edge of Darkness skill. And then on top of all that, we're dealing double damage because we have the Ballast Armor on. I'm also using the Legacy of Master for +2 attack and damage rolls. However, the Helldust Gloves makes a lot of sense here because it'll give us extra fire damage on our attacks. That's always fun. Cloak Protection. I guess the Ring of Protection we'll throw on as well. I also like the Killer Sweetheart for the free critical hit. So that's really great too. Amulet of Greater Health for the extra health. We got 159 health there. And then Evasive Shoes for plus armor class. And the Mask of Soul Perception for increased initiative and attack rolls. However, Helm of Baldur will give us a big 27 armor class, which can be really nice. Now, the strategy we typically want to do is have our birds go in and apply blindness, or alternatively just create pockets of darkness like that, and then go around rending vision of anyone that's silly enough to be in our way. So you can go around blinding. And we got our extra ravens there. We also got this ranged attack. If you can't hit someone, you can do it with that as well. So you can just go around blinding everyone with this bird, and then the Corvuses will do their own thing and try to blind people. So that's really fun there. But for us, the strategy is to use like our ensnaring strike and try to pin people in place for our birds to hold them in there. We're gonna miss with this attack. Oh, we didn't. And now Will's ensnared. So That's the nice thing about ensnares. You can hold people in place and then cast darkness. Also, Shard's darkness will apply on if we had this weapon, but even just using the Edge of Darkness, we can attack and create darkness with that. So that's huge, and also will somehow light things on fire. But the beautiful thing about Edge of Darkness is once per short rest, you can attack and make that darkness there, and then you can see in it, so you're not blinded. We're immune to it. So that's really nice. And then also you can go in and hide in plain sight if you want to go invisible. So you got that ability too. And then we can go and attack with the piercing damage. Now, one thing, it's not that 12 would be 24 because we're not able to activate the aura of murder on our own teammates until it becomes a hostile attack. So whenever I'll show you in a moment, I'll attack someone and we'll get that hostile going off. Will's just slowly dying there, but yeah, the nice thing about this is we got options like for crowd control, like plant growth, the ensnaring strike. Even Hail of Thorns is a decent enough option that we can shoot at with and set that up. But we also got Create Water, so we can go with a nice Create Water and then follow up with our Lightning Arrow. So we got some cool spells that can work together decently well. I'm shooting my bird there by accident, but the price to pay. But yeah, Lightning Arrow is a fun little action. You can get some synergy from the Create Water, but typically we want to be attacking with our melee range because of the ballast armor. And even so, 27 armor class with light armor is really good. We can also go with the armor of agility there, 30 armor class. But I think that the ballast armor's increase to our overall damage is just going to be ideal for us. So you can go with that. Now, typically we'd want to be setting up with things like our spike growth. Our birds will hold people in place too with the blindness, so you can kind of use them as tanky summons, I guess. And especially with aid upcasted, that just gives us another nice benefit to it. So we're just going to attack there. I should have had Shadowheart use the Drake Throat Glaive, because you can use the Drake Throat Glaive to add a damage type to your attacks as well. But yeah, I guess I'll maybe cast Darkness here. I think this will... That doesn't... Okay. Trying to find a way to start combat without using a bar action, but yeah, you'd want to basically attack Duke Ravengard there, and or that's my strategy, I guess. But basically what we want to do with our attacks is get in the darkness there, so it'll let everyone else go first, and then I'll show you the strategy that we're going to go for here. And darkness is being our best friend, so we can sneak up behind people and then go stabby with our attacks. And we'll get double damage from the ballast armor, as you're going to see here. So 30 damage, really nice. And our Raven friends will all get that extra benefit, 42. And then on our third attack there, we were able to finish them off. So that is pretty crazy of damage. And that does use your War Priest bonus action. So that's how we're able to get the 3 attacks. But you're going to basically be taking out pretty much anyone with this, especially since we got that darkness set up. We got... so we can hide in it, get extra damage, and we're safe in here. People are going to be blinded and can't attack into her. So the crows are really great. I also really like the bears, but I showed you how to get a free bear and then also have your crows too. So there it is. That's an OP Beastmaster build in Baldur's Gate 3. If you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you all in the next video.